Things are not looking good for the future of ChatGPT. DeepSeek R1 recently released and completely blew the OpenAI business model out of the water. So these guys, ChatGPT, OpenAI, they've been spending billions of dollars on their OpenAI 4.0, I think is what it is. And I could be wrong about the actual model number, but DeepSeek is a Chinese company that came out with just 5.6 million. Like, we're talking a difference. I want to say about $10 billion has been dumped into OpenAI already. Now, I haven't verified these numbers completely. Hopefully, they'll say something about it in this video, but there's a lot going on here.
Gary Marcus, New York University professor and AI expert, joins us this morning. Gary, welcome back. It's good to see you again.
Yeah, great to be back.
I don't think you mean WeWork as a compliment.
Well, I mean, not really. No, I don't. I think that OpenAI is highly overvalued. I think we just saw their business model sort of blow up yesterday or over the last few days with DeepSeek basically giving away for free what they wanted to charge money for. Also, I think that DeepSeek is more open than OpenAI, and that's going to be attractive to talent. I don't think things are looking great. I think $157 billion valuation is hard to bear out when you're losing $5 billion a year or thereabouts. And I think the final problem is that this software, large language models, just isn't that reliable. We all know by now that it hallucinates, makes stuff up, makes weird errors and so forth. And that's a problem. So somebody, could be OpenAI, could be somebody else, will eventually, I think of something that is much more useful than LLMs. But I don't.
This is what I want to know, is what is this going to mean for the Stargate initiative? Because they just announced this like a couple days ago. Now, I was looking at how China managed to catch up so quickly, and it looks like DeepSeek actually has a different thought process. Let me see. Mixture of experts activates only necessary parts of the model for each task rather than what I assume, or this is an assumption, OpenAI, they dig through their whole files until they find the right ones. So I think it's much cheaper to compute, but I could be wrong. I'm not an expert in this kind of stuff.
I don't think that's going to happen tomorrow. And in the meantime, OpenAI is burning money. And so we may see their valuation plummet in the same way that we saw with WeWork.
Do you trust everything you've heard from DeepSeek? And I just wonder, how can we make any kind of broad conclusion this early, and given the secrecy and doubt that these details are enshrouded in right now?
I think it's pretty likely that at least roughly what they described is correct. I read the main paper on R1. It makes sense. I've heard that someone at Berkeley has already replicated it. And if the company just made it all up, then they're going to flame out very quickly because everybody knows how to replicate. They described enough about what it is. And so we'll find out in a matter of weeks if it's not true. But I think it probably is true. I think what they did is plausible. They worked harder on the optimization than other people had before. It's not entirely surprising this would happen. You know, a year ago, I made a bunch of predictions, and one was that this stuff would all become a commodity, that there was no moat. And we all.
It is very, very expensive to operate. So the one video that I watched about this, the guy was using a service that operated this, and it was a collaboration of multiple like $8,000 GPUs.
All knew that there were gains of efficiency to be made. I think they did it in super impressive fashion, but I think it's probably legit.
I'm curious your thoughts on what this means for geopolitics, because the conventional thinking for the last few years has been that the U.S. has kind of unbridled resources to put forth toward becoming competitive in AI. And if there's anything we've learned this week, it's that this can potentially be done more cheaply, more commoditized, as you say. So what does that mean for the democratization of this technology across the world? And, you know, taking it one step further, what are the geopolitical implications of this if, you know, basically with a couple $100,000 or so, you can just replicate this technology?
So I think that what this really shows is that AI is once again anybody's game, but also that nobody is going to win by playing with LLMs. LLMs are too, large language models are too well understood. That's the core of generative AI. Everybody's kind of playing the same game, and so it's impossible to get a big lead on that. And now even smaller countries or smaller companies are going to be able to play because of these new results. If somebody really wants to get an upper hand here, they're going to have to invent something fundamentally new, something that I think works differently from LLMs. You know, getting to general AI, artificial general intelligence, probably requires like 5 or 6 more
Is that what this is? I don't know.
breakthroughs. And the company or country that can ramp up those breakthroughs first may win. But just playing around with LLMs is not really going to get us there. In fact, people have struggled to make GPT-5. If somebody does figure it out, probably other people will be fast followers. This is just not a way to get an enduring lead. It also shows that the CHIPS Act, that the export controls are not really a way of controlling this. What we really need is to sponsor innovation, sponsoring the right kind of innovation, getting people to look outside the black box to new approaches. That's what's really going to make a difference here.
So basically, DeepSeek created a large language model that's more efficient than ChatGPT. But this guy doesn't think that that's the future, I guess. I don't know. I think it's definitely groundbreaking no matter what. But it seems like he just wants to go in a different direction. If you are still watching the video on YouTube right now, I am streaming every night at 8. I would appreciate if you join me on Twitch and just drop a like and subscribe. But I hope you learned something. I tried to.